Hello guys and welcome back to Planet 40k, the Necrons channel. Now, it's the 5th of May and they've finally released some Necron content for 10th edition. We've been waiting for quite a while now, but thankfully they have released some stuff, so we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the main army rules, army abilities. We're going to talk about, I think they've showcased the weapon for the Doomsday Arc, the Void Dragon. There are some data sheets as well, but we're going to probably do those in separated videos. We're going to do a little bit more of a deep dive into those. That's the Monolith and the Necron Warriors. But I'm pretty much going to be reacting to this article. I have had a glance at it already, but I haven't sort of put two and two together yet of how this is going to interact. So you're going to kind of see that as we go through the video. So let's get straight into it. I'm quite excited about this, as you can probably tell from my voice. Let's get into it. So Warhammer 40k faction focus, Necrons, 5th of May. Let's get involved. Right, numbers of legion, the overview. Necrons have long been an army of implacable silent warriors marching forward in an unstoppable phalanx of flesh-stripping gorse fire. This is still true, but now many larger constructs such as the Canoptic Doomstalker, Triarchstalker, Canoptic Spiders and Ghost Ark follow the trend of much increased toughness, combined with the reduction in AP basically. Army will feel like a truly indestructible force of living metal. So I just want to check, in fact, from these images if there's anything new in them. I don't believe there is. Nothing new from that image there. And as for this one, no, I thought that was something completely new there, but that's an Eldari, that's something from the Eldar Codex, isn't it? So that's nothing to do with us. So no, I can't see anything at a first glance, unless it's, what's this big thing at the back here? That might just be sort of some sort of terrain thing or something, but I don't know. What is that? Is that meant to be anything? That big thing? Anyway, we'll kind of get back into that in a bit. So Necron armies can field a wide variety of units, from humble Canoptic Scarabs to shards of fallen star gods. In between those two extremes, they have reliable foot soldiers such as Immortals, tunneling ambushers like Amphibian Destroyers, and technology-bending cryptechs like Psychomancers, Chronomancers, and Technomancers. Reanimation protocols are the one thing that these mechanical marauders, I've not heard that word before, marauders all have in common. An army rule that grants Necron models the ability to recover from even lethal damage. So our army rule is reanimation protocols. We probably could have guessed that already, but how does it work in this edition? And please, will it work on multi-wound models? Let's find out. If your army faction is Necrons, at the end of your command phase, each unit from your army with this ability activates its reanimation protocols and reanimates D3 wounds. Each time such a unit reanimates a wound, if that unit contains one or more models with fewer than their starting number of wounds remaining, select one of these models to regain one lost wound. Confused already, D3 or 1? Let me get onto the second bit. If all models in the unit have had their starting number of wounds, but that unit is not at starting strength, one destroyed model is returned to the unit with one wound remaining. Okay, once such unit is at its starting strength, and all of its models have their starting number of wounds, nothing further happens. So I'm a little bit confused how that actually works. Let me read this again. Am I missing something here? Okay, I think I've got this. I might be wrong here. Again, I'm kind of reacting to this, but is this suggesting that you get D3? Let's say you roll a 3 out of the D3, and for every single one of those, you can do one of the following. So for the first one, you can regain a lost wound. The second one, you can regain another lost wound. And for the third one, let's imagine that unit is now on full wounds, you can actually get another model back as well. Is that what this is saying? Let me know down in the comments below, because that's how I'm reading this. The first part says D3, but then it goes on to say 1 wound. I think it's like 3 different chances of getting wounds and models back. Well, D3, not 3. That's kind of cool. If it is what I think it is, that is kind of cool. And it isn't just like, core units or anything, and it isn't just... It's working on every single unit, every single battle round. So it's almost like having living metal and reanimation protocols kind of combined together. They've merged together into this one army rule. At a glance, I think I like it. I need to sort of sit down and think about this a little bit more to sort of get my head around it, because taking all the information in, I think it's good. I mean, you might have one, let's say you've got a Locust Heavy Destroyer and it's only got 1 wound out of the 4, and you roll a 3 for the D3, then it will just get that You'll just get that Locust Heavy Destroyer back to full wounds because you put 3 wounds back on it, right? But if you had lost one of your Locust Heavy Destroyers and one of the other ones had 1 wound missing, and again you rolled a 3, you could stick that first one on regaining that lost wound on the unit, on the model that's not got the wound, and then you've still got 2 more, effectively 2 more from the pool to play with, so you can bring a model back with the second one. So I think it's pretty cool. I think they've actually, yeah, at a glance, I think they've actually cracked it. We'll have to kind of, yeah, we need to get into the comments about this one and chat in the Discord because I think it's good. I think it's good. Okay, so this ability is an offering to Necron players, but it's now simpler and more reliable than ever. There's nothing better than any self-respecting Overlord than the look on your opponent's face when the limbs are reattached, smash skulls rejoin, torsos, and then it goes da-da-da-da. Right. Even the most durable Necron chassis pales its comparison to the indomitable will of the nobility. The Awakened Dynasty detachment, so we have a dynasty name now, it's the Awakened Dynasty, so no more Novak, no more Nihilak, no more Mefret, no more Mefret. It's now called the Awakened Dynasty, and the detachment rule for that dynasty is Command Protocols. That's the actual rule for the dynasty, cool, which makes your units even more accurate when a leader is around, to impose their deathless domination, and helps keep your units above the half strength to avoid battle shock tests. Okay, so what is Command Protocols, which is your detachment rule? While a Necron's character model is leading this unit, each time a model in the unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. So it's basically my will be done, which means our Overlord models are not going to have my will be done, because if they've got one will be done and then you're taking this dynasty, the Awakened Dynasty, then they're not going to stack, right? Unless you can stack them, but I doubt it. Or even if they're hitting on a 3+ and it goes to a 2+ with this detachment rule, it's not going to go to a 1+. So that means my will be done is probably not going to be a thing for our Overlords and Command Barges and that kind of stuff. Okay, that's not necessarily a bad thing. We're going to get it army-wide, providing that there is a character in that unit. And it doesn't have to be an Overlord, it could be any character that can go into a unit. They've not declared, of course, which characters go into what units, but any characters that can are going to do that. Right, unit spotlight. I'm just going to have a little glance at this monolith data sheet. We will do this in a separate video as mentioned, but I just want to have a little check. And the wound is 20, toughness 14, 2+ armor save. Staying here. Yeah, I'm going to go over this, and there's quite a lot of info there, so I'm going to go over this in a separate video, probably coming out today, in fact. So keep your eyes out for that. And the same applies for this Necron Warriors, although I just want to quickly look at this. It's 1 wound, toughness 4, nothing really looks different. Of course, Reaper is still there. Yeah, cool. Alright, we'll go over that in a bit. Calm down, I'm too excited. Weapon spotlight. Let's check out the Doomsday Cannon, and I'm hoping that they fix this. Please have they fixed this. Let's see. Right. The Necron Warriors will kill a lot of enemy units with their Ghost Flayers and Reapers through their sheer weight of firepower. But you really need to obliterate something absolutely right now. Might we recommend Doomsday Cannon? You wouldn't have recommended it in 9th edition, put it that way. So it has still got Blast, although Blast hasn't been confirmed to mean the same thing as it did. Well, I think they've confirmed some information on Blast. I don't know if it can be fired into combat anymore, or if it can or not. Heavy, if it stays stationary, it's a +1 to hit, I believe. So you can hit on a 2+. It's got the 72-inch range. Okay, it's got attacked D6 +1. So it's still a bit janky, but they're giving it a +1, so you can take that as a positive, I guess. So strength 15. It was previously strength 10, but of course, vehicle and monsters, the toughness has gone up now. So strength 15 is going to match that. It's going to be okay for that. -4 AP, and the damage is 4. Damage is 4. We haven't got D6 damage anymore, and it's better than, yeah, it could have been D3 or something. Yeah, D4, well, 4 damage. I'm pretty impressed with that. That's good. That is good. Overwhelming Obliteration. In your movement phase, if this model remains stationary, oh, here we go. Until the end of the turn, its Doomsday Cannon has the Devastating Wounds ability. Ooh. I keep forgetting these keywords. Is that the one where you inflict mortal wounds on a wound roll of a 6? I suppose you don't have that many attacks. I mean, it might happen every now and then. If that is what it is. I think it is. Yeah, that ability is sort of whatever. Okay. So, the Impossibility Advanced. Energy weapon delivers a mighty strength 15 blast that will tear through even improved toughness of most vehicles, like so much paper. If your Doomsday arc stays stationary, the Doomsday cannon gives devastating wounds ability, allowing it to toss out mortal wounds that bypass invulnerable saves and spread its damage around. Yeah, actually that's not a bad point. It really is Doomsday for anything you point this at. Right, yeah, so let's get on to the next one, which is the Void Dragon. So if you still need some extra help with some enemy vehicles, it's time to call upon the Catan Shard of the Void Dragon. Its particle splitting spear makes the light work of tanks and other fighting vehicles with anti-vehicle 2+, and its sweep profile will melt infantry 2. Anti-vehicle 2+, so against vehicles I presume you're going to be wounding on a 2+. So previously these were strength 9, -4 AP and D6 damage, and it had 5 attacks. So it's still got 5 attacks, it's still hitting on 2s. It's now gone to strength 12, again it's going to match because of the toughness increase. -3 AP, so that's lost a little bit of AP, but there has been a huge AP reset, so I'm okay with that. And the damage being D6 +2. So before it was D6, and against vehicles it was D6 +3. This just looks like a flat D6 +2 regardless of what you're going up against. And of course wounding on a 2+ against those vehicles. So it's still good against vehicles, and it mentioned that in the paragraph anyway. So we've got 2 different profiles for melee. Okay, so we've got that was a strike melee attack. We've got the sweep melee attack. So you're getting 10 attacks this time, so you're getting double the amount of attacks. You're now hitting on a 3+, so he clearly isn't doing it. He's doing it with his eyes closed, I suppose. Strength 8, -1 AP, 2 damage. That's good against Space Marine armor, of course, making them, you're wounding them on a 2+, -1 AP puts them on a 4+ armor save, and damage 2 will remove models. So just like what you expected from a shard of the Star God, or anyone following us will have to stand in its way. Cool. Stratagem. We've got a stratagem to look at, and it's a protocol. Pretty cool. So they've actually turned the protocols into stratagems. The Necrons have 6 detachments specific stratagems. The Protocol of Hungry Void stratagem is your go-to for slicing through the galaxy's younger races. So this is our melee stratagem, if you like. To be used on the Awakened Dynasty, so we've only got that one dynasty as far as we know so far. When a codex does get released, there will be more. So battle tactic stratagem, 1 command point. When do you use it? In the fight phase. Target 1 Necrons unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. And effectively it's a +1 to the strength of melee weapons equipped by models in the unit, and in addition, if a Necron's character is leading that unit until the end of the phase, improve the AP characteristic of melee weapons by 1. Cool. So it's like the Novak Dynasty condensed with the Protocol of Hungry Void, or Disruption Field, or kind of a bit of a combination of all of them put together for 1 command point. It's a nice little sort of tidy up in a, I don't want to say the word regurgitate because that sounds a bit grim, but they've sort of taken the old stuff, put it into a nice, straightforward new style, and yeah, I quite like that. So this is perfect for dedicated close combat units such as Flayed Ones, Scorpet Destroyers, especially if they're led by the Scorpet Lord. So can Scorpet Lords lead Flayed Ones? Is that what that's suggesting, or is it just talking about the end of the sentence, which was Scorpet Destroyers? We don't know. It just goes to show you that while Necrons might have emotionless faces, they are more than capable of getting angry. I know I am. But not today, I'm not, because we're getting some information. Quite a nice little photo there. Anything new for me? Not really. We wanted to capture the feeling that... Okay, I think that is just more... No. We wanted to capture the feeling that you're facing a slow creeping, unending legion of deathless foes, explains Robin from the Warhammer studio. Their reanimation protocols will, given enough time, regenerate every unit to full strength. We also want to instill the idea that the mass ranks are under the control of immortal leaders, by whose will and command their legions fight with such unnerving coordination and lethality. Command protocols and characters are therefore the main theme behind the Awakened Legion detachment. So let's get back to the main army ability here, because while I've been doing this video, I kind of had a few thoughts about this. I think I've got that right, but something I didn't mention earlier in this video, this doesn't happen while your opponent is selecting you for their attack, so in their shooting phase, in their fight phase. This is happening just in our command phase. So we're not going to be reacting our command protocols whenever someone makes an attack against our unit. We're waiting for our command phase, and then every single unit, even the ones that were not targeted, are getting to use this. So it is a little bit of a nod to the old editions. So I like that. I think I like it. Yeah, you guys need to really tell me what you think about this, because at first glance, I really like this. So yeah, guys, just keep your eyes out. I'm going to be doing the Monolith as well as the Void Dragon, wasn't it? It was the Void Dragon and the Monolith. I'm going to be getting onto those videos now, doing a little bit more of a deep dive. Yeah, all 3 of these videos will be out at some point today. So, thank you all for watching. See you in the next one.